really well done, and thank you for sharing something personal about yourself and facing what many people find to be a very stressful situation, speaking in front of others. Well done.
Thank you.
Our next speaker tonight is Andrew Cooper. Andrew has asked me to read a disclaimer. He has asked me to point out he is not a medical physician, and he is not dispensing medical advice. Makes me very curious as to what his speech is going to be about. If, after his stirring and inspiring speech, you are motivated to Bant, do your own research and consult your physician if necessary. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Cooper. To Bant or not to Bant? To Bant or not to Bant? Andrew Cooper.
To Bant or not to Bant? Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the ills of carbohydrates or to take arms against the unjustified vilification of healthy fats, and by opposing, end them. Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, William Banting was a retired undertaker from London, England in 1863. Now that's 155 years ago. He was, as many people in our society are today, classified as obese. He was consulting doctors, dietitians, and doing whatever he could to get it under control, but to no avail. Diet after disastrous diet failed. A well-meaning friend kindly recommended that Banting take up rowing to increase his calories out. After months of diligently rowing, Banting wrote that he developed a prodigious appetite, which he was compelled to indulge. Consequently, he put on weight. His friend then advised him to stop rowing. An ear doctor he was consulting about deafness, a symptom associated with obesity, recommended he try a low-carbohydrate, high-fat diet, which had recently been developed in Europe. Desperate, open to anything, Banting adopted the diet and diligently followed it. His weight almost miraculously disappeared. So pleased was Banting with the results that he self-published his now pretty well-known Letter of Corpulence, outlining an eating plan that worked for him in overcoming obesity. Fast forward to 2010. Banting's story was picked up by Professor Tim Noakes, a doctor of sports medicine at the University of Cape Town in South Africa. Banting was a former low-fat, high-carbohydrate advocate who had even developed a specialized carbohydrate-rich drink for high-performance athletes. After reading Banting's Letter of Corpulence and researching the growing evidence out there about the benefits of a low-carbohydrate, high-fat diet, Tim Noakes completely switched his belief, developed a diet based on the principles outlined by Banting, but enhanced with up-to-date nutrition knowledge, and adopted the word Banting to describe the diet. Hence, the verb Bant was born. Banting is based on the premise that fats do not make you fat, carbohydrates make you fat. But you protest. I've learnt that eating fat causes heart attacks. Now that is because powerful lobbying groups funded by the grain and sugar industry launched campaigns vilifying healthy fats, even influencing dietary guidelines, which promoted carbohydrates as staple essentials and demoted fats to second-class citizens. Let me tell you about Mike. Mike spent months at a time working in camps in remote construction sites around Africa. Diets of these camps were high in carbohydrates, or the so-called staple essentials. Oatmeal for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch, and loads of starchy foods like potatoes for dinner. Over the years, Mike's weight slowly but steadily increased, despite all the hard work he was doing, until one day he got a wake-up call. He was diagnosed as being type 2 diabetic. Fortunately, his doctor recommended he try to get this under control through diet before looking at options like insulin. Mike visited with some banting converts where he banted big time, even indulging in a delicious low carbohydrate cheesecake. Mike was as wary as an antelope drinking from a crocodile infested river, but trusted the process, even though I am told he did check his blood sugar levels a couple of times a day just to be sure. After only 2 days, Mike's blood sugar level had dropped by 1/3, and he, just like Banting, almost miraculously started losing weight. Because of Banting, Mike's weight is now under control, and he is no longer plagued by the dangers of diabetes. How different would society be today had we heeded Banting's wise words 155 years ago? How do you bant? You buy and eat good, real food, high in healthy fats and low in carbohydrates. Buying low carb can be a challenge, as carbohydrates lurk like wolves in sheep's clothing, watching, waiting, ready to pounce on the unaware. Seemingly innocent foods like carrots, peas, low-fat yogurt are relatively high in carbohydrates. So, read food nutrition labels and make high-fat choices wherever possible. The Real Meal Revolution, an organization dedicated to the gospel of Banting, developed green, red, and orange lists to help guide you to make healthy food choices. If you're interested in learning more, check them out online at realmealrevolution.com. Julia Child said, "The only time to eat diet food is when you're waiting for the steak to cook." This is very much in line with Real Meal Revolution's delicious, nutritious recipes for healthy, wholesome food, which will take you back to Grandma's kitchen. Butter, lard, dripping, roast, bacon, eggs. My mouth is starting to water. But the question remains, to bant or not to bant? If you want to get your weight under control, if you want to reduce your blood sugar levels, and if you want to indulge in delicious foods you used to think were harmful, then take arms against carbohydrates and the unjustified vilification of healthy fats, and bant, Mr. Toastman.
Mr. Toastmaster, 1 minute for evaluation, please, to your timer.